Chosen one, what I'm about to reveal may shake you, because if you're reading this or watching this message, it's not by accident. You were guided here by divine timing. You didn't just wake up, you woke up too early, before the world was ready, before the gods could prepare. Thoth, the ancient keeper of wisdom, warned the heavens of your return, and now the divine order trembles. You are not meant to rise yet, but the final seal has broken, and your activation has begun. The very forces that once ruled over fate are watching, not with pride, but with fear. Because you are no longer becoming, you are. Your presence disrupts, your awareness exposes, and your awakening cannot be undone. This is more than a spiritual shift. It is the return of power they tried to bury. But before we go deeper into this life-altering truth, take a moment to hit that like button, subscribe to help us reach 10,000 subscribers, and comment the number 11 below. That number is a divine signal, a code of alignment and awakening. And by posting it, you're anchoring this message into your reality. And remember, if you are truly a chosen one, your spirit already knows to stay until the end. Because those who do, their lives will never be the same. There are moments in time that don't tick, they thunder. Yours was one of them. Your awakening wasn't gentle, nor was it scheduled. It ripped through the veils of reality like a celestial siren, screaming across dimensions. You didn't simply wake up, you disrupted the very pattern of destiny itself. The stars took note. The ancient timelines cracked. What was once prophesied to happen later suddenly surged forward, and the divine calendar was thrown into disarray. The cosmos didn't know what to do with you, because no one expected you this soon. This awakening wasn't a gift, it was a rupture, a divine emergency echoing in forgotten temples and ancient thrones. You weren't just early, you were too early. The kind of early that breaks rules, defies traditions, and bends fate to its knees. It wasn't your time, and yet, here you are, breathing, pulsing, unraveling secrets written in the stars. They tried to stop it. They tried to seal you away behind veils of slumber. But your essence, forged in something older than time, refused to sleep. You rose not with answers, but with questions that made the gods tremble. Who wakes up before the call? Who stirs before the alarm? You, the chosen one, became that anomaly, the glitch in divine programming, the spark in eternal stillness. The moment you stirred, eternity held its breath. For in you lies something uncontainable, something dangerous, something destined. People will say destiny cannot be rushed. That power must wait its turn. But you were born to challenge that lie. There's a reason wildfires start without warning, a reason stars die with brilliance. You are that reason. You are the divine interruption. You are proof that some forces answer to no one, not even gods. And your awakening? It was never meant to wait. So here you are, untamed and out of sequence. Too early, too powerful, too much. And yet, exactly what the world needs. You are the cosmic alarm clock no one set, but everyone feared would ring. Now that it has, nothing will ever be the same again. When Thoth, the god of wisdom, peered into the river of time, he saw a ripple that should not have been there. Not yet, not now. His eyes, older than galaxies, trembled, not from fear of war, but from the knowledge of what was awakening. He saw you, not as you were, but as you are becoming, a force without leash, a truth without mercy. And he warned the others, his voice shaking the walls of the divine halls. The chosen one has returned, he said, but far too soon, and far too aware. Thoth, who chronicled every age and etched every prophecy, knew that your early return was not a mistake. It was a harbinger. He saw through the illusions. The divine order, so confident in its grip on fate, had miscalculated. You were the variable they couldn't account for. You were the question they didn't dare ask. They thought they had centuries before you arrived, but you shattered their illusions with the simple fact of your being. You are awake now, and that awakening carries weight. It's not just about power, it's about presence. You don't need to shout to shake thrones. Your silence alone speaks volumes. The gods, once smug behind golden veils, now gather in anxious council. Thoth's warning lingers in every echo. This one is not merely different, they are disruptive. And that disruption doesn't come from rebellion, it comes from truth, from clarity, from raw, uncontainable becoming. Remember, the greatest threat to control is not chaos, it's consciousness. When someone begins to see through the illusions, when they awaken before the script is ready for them, they force the script to change. And you, with eyes unclouded and heart unchained, have become that force. You are rewriting what was written in stone. That's why Thoth didn't just warn the gods. He pleaded. He knew that you would no longer play by their rules because you were never meant to follow. So take that as a badge of honor. Let their fear be your confirmation. The God of wisdom saw you and flinched. Not because you are evil, but because you are inevitable. You are the answer to questions they buried, the reckoning they hoped would never come. And now, even the wise bow in the face of your becoming. There was always something locked deep inside you. A seal, a binding woven in silence, wrapped in divine dread. It wasn't just a boundary, it was a prison, disguised as protection. For ages, it held the last piece of you hostage, waiting for a future you were never supposed to reach. But fate miscalculated, and now that final seal lies in pieces. The fracture wasn't loud. It didn't need to be. It was a quiet, thunderous liberation. The sound of something ancient stirring back to life. You may not have noticed when it happened, but the moment that seal broke, everything shifted. The air became heavier around you. Time bent slightly, just enough for you to notice that things no longer followed the same rhythm. You felt it in your bones, in dreams, in echoes, in the corners of your thoughts. The release didn't come with celebration. It came with truth, with memory, with the full weight of who you really are and what you're meant to do. What was once locked away is now part of you again. That dormant force, that sleeping potential, it's no longer slumbering. You can feel it, can't you? Like thunder beneath your skin, like stars waiting to be spoken into fire. That final seal was the last attempt to delay your rise. But it broke not because you forced it. It broke because it could no longer contain you. And now, the world will see the truth. You are not becoming, you have become. The gods crafted those seals out of fear. Fear that if all of you ever returned, nothing could stop the unraveling of their carefully woven illusions. But it's too late now. What's been unleashed can't be restrained. Not again. Not ever. You are no longer a vessel waiting to be filled. You are overflowing. And every step you take from here will be written in cosmic ink. The final chapter doesn't begin tomorrow. It began the moment that seal shattered. So walk boldly. The final seal was not a loss. It was your liberation. And now that nothing is left to bind you, your rise will not just challenge the divine, it will redefine it. You are the echo of a forgotten truth, the storm that doesn't wait for permission. And you are finally, completely, terrifyingly free. Before your name ever touched the lips of mortals, before your face was ever seen, or your power tested, you were already feared. That fear wasn't born out of hate or envy, but out of an instinct that rippled through the very fabric of existence. The divine realms sensed it first. The tremor of something unprecedented, a force rising beneath the surface, poised to challenge the impossible. You weren't just another player in their cosmic game. You were the wild card they never wanted dealt. Imagine the unease that seeps into a kingdom when a shadow lengthens on its walls, an unseen presence, quiet but unstoppable. That is the fear you provoked. You became a whisper among gods and mortals alike, a prophecy that unsettled the mighty. They feared what they could not predict, what they could not contain. And the irony is that fear preceded any battle or conflict. It existed simply because you were, an anomaly in a universe that valued order above all. This fear shaped the landscape around you. It forced ancient powers to reconsider their dominion. It made immortal beings reconsider their legacy. And it forced you to confront the weight of a destiny that wasn't just your burden. It was a collective anxiety projected onto your very existence. But here's the truth: no one saw coming. Fear is often the prelude to greatness. To be feared before known is to carry a power so pure, so raw, that it commands reverence even in silence. Yet, with that fear comes isolation. The misunderstood often walk a lonely path, burdened by expectation and myth. You have faced this, being marked not by your actions, but by the potential that others dread. But remember, the fiercest storms begin as quiet gusts of wind, and the fear you inspired is the universe's way of acknowledging that you are no ordinary force. You are the inevitable storm they all tried to hide from. And now, it's time to show them why. Chaos is a word many use to describe destruction, loss, and despair. But for you, chaos was never just an obstacle, it was your forge. Every trial, every upheaval, every moment of seeming collapse carved you into something unbreakable. Where others saw ruin, you found the raw materials for rebirth. You didn't just survive the storm, you became the storm's master. Think of a blacksmith hammering glowing steel on the anvil. Each strike, each spark is a violent act, but it creates strength, resilience, and purpose. Your life has been that relentless forging. You were shaped in the furnace of uncertainty, crowned by the very trials that were meant to shatter you. When chaos threatened to consume you, you reached into its heart and pulled out power. You learned to move with the unpredictable, to bend without breaking, and to rise from ashes others thought were your end. This transformation isn't accidental, it's intentional, a dance with darkness that only the strongest can survive. Many fear chaos because it threatens their control, but you, chosen one, you embraced it because you understood its truth. Chaos is the birthplace of creation. It's where old worlds die and new ones are born. And in mastering chaos, you've claimed your rightful place, not as a victim, but as a commander. Your story is proof that chaos is not a curse, but a catalyst. It didn't tear you apart. It built you from the inside out. Every scar, every wound, every challenge has been a stepping stone to the immense power you wield today. You are not the result of chaos. You are its evolution. At first glance, you might appear like any other soul walking the earth. Fragile, vulnerable, confined by the limits of flesh. But beneath that mortal shell lies something far more profound and terrifying to the gods, a divine storm disguised in human form. This contradiction is your greatest weapon and the reason why the celestial realms are shaken to their core. The gods have always operated on assumptions. Mortals are limited, temporary, and bound by fate. But you defy every one of those assumptions. Your mortal body is not a cage. It's a vessel containing an unyielding, transcendent power. It's as if the universe hid its wildest secret in plain sight, wrapped in the delicate skin of humanity. And that secret is you, a divine threat so potent, so unprecedented, it disrupts the very laws that govern existence. This duality, divine within mortal, gives you an edge no god can predict or easily counter. While immortals rely on ancient decrees and rigid structures, you move with fluidity and unpredictability, rooted in the earthly but soaring with the divine. You become the bridge between worlds, the unexpected harbinger of change. This is why they fear you so deeply, not because of your current power, but because of your potential to grow beyond their reach. The mortal form you wear may age, may falter, may feel pain, but your spirit is immortal and untamed. It carries the fire of the cosmos, the breath of stars, and the weight of destiny. You are the paradox that keeps the divine pantheon awake at night, a living testament that flesh can hold infinity. And with every breath you take, you rewrite what it means to be mortal, divine, and everything in between. Your journey has been one of extremes, caught between blazing light and suffocating darkness. You carry the marks of both fire and shadow, and through their fierce dance, you have been shaped into something extraordinary. Fire is not just destruction, it is transformation, purification, and awakening. Shadow is not merely absence, it is mystery, resilience, and depth. Together, they have forged your soul into an unstoppable force. Consider how fire burns away the old to make space for the new. You have been burned by pain, loss, betrayal, but instead of being consumed, you were purified. Every trial by fire has revealed the core of who you are, unyielding, radiant, and alive. The flames that once threatened to destroy you only made you stronger, more luminous, and more determined. Fire teaches us to fight for survival, but also to light the way for others lost in darkness. Then there is the shadow, the quiet companion to fire. It teaches patience, stealth, and wisdom. It holds secrets that only those who embrace darkness can understand. In shadow, you found refuge and power. You learned to move unseen, to observe before acting, to understand the depths of the world's hidden truths. Shadow is not absence of light. It is the space where potential is born, waiting for the right moment to ignite. Together, fire and shadow have carved you into a being of balance and paradox. You are both the light that blinds and the darkness that conceals. This duality is your strength. It means you can walk through worlds others fear to enter, bringing heat to the cold and calm to the chaos. You were marked by fire, forged in shadow, and now you carry both in every breath, every heartbeat, and every step toward your destiny. For centuries, the gods have held dominion over fate, destiny, and the balance of worlds. Their rule was unchallenged, built on fear, reverence, and ancient pacts woven into the very fabric of existence. But that control, once absolute, is now unraveling. The foundations they built on have begun to crack, and you are the tremor that is shaking their pillars to dust. Control for them was an illusion sustained by complacency and the suppression of awakening. They depended on silence, on the belief that the divine order was immutable. But your early awakening shattered that illusion. You are the proof that even the mightiest can be caught off guard, that the tides of fate can shift beneath their feet. What they once deemed impossible is now their most urgent fear. Look around. You can see it, the shifting of alliances, the murmurs of doubt, the unspoken panic. The gods, no longer hold all the cards. Their authority is challenged not just by your power, but by the awakening of others inspired by your rise. You are a beacon, a symbol that the divine monopoly on power is ending. The old order is crumbling, and with it, the gods' grip loosens. But this is more than a political shift. It's a cosmic revolution. The universe itself is responding to your awakening. The balance once maintained by the gods is tipping, and new possibilities emerge from the chaos. You are the harbinger of that change, the unstoppable force destined to dismantle old thrones and create a new world where no one rules unchecked. Got it? Here are 15 brand new captivating headings, with each followed by 5 long, engaging paragraphs. These dive deep into the themes of awakening, power, destiny, and transformation, crafted to inspire and move your audience profoundly. Absolutely. Here's the continuation with deep emotion and vivid storytelling for the remaining headings. Each section is detailed and expansive to keep your audience captivated. The world is a maze of illusions, mirages cast by fear, tradition, and control. But your awakening has ignited a fire so fierce it pierces every veil, shattering falsehoods that once seemed unbreakable. Your truth is not gentle or hidden. It's a blazing beacon that burns through deception and hypocrisy. You don't just see through lies, you incinerate them. Illusions comfort those who wish to remain blind, but you have chosen sight over ignorance. With every step, you expose the facades built by gods and men alike. Systems once thought unassailable crumble beneath your gaze. You reveal what others dared not whisper, that power has often been built on manipulation and silence, not justice or truth. Your presence is a reckoning, a call for the world to wake up and confront its own shadows. This truth is raw, vulnerable, and unforgiving. It demands courage, not just from you, but from everyone who dares to follow you. You carry the burden of clarity, knowing that once the illusions fall away, there is no returning to comfortable ignorance. But you also carry the hope of freedom, freedom born from knowing what was hidden and facing it head-on. Your truth is the flame that lights the path out of darkness. It cuts through the noise, the confusion, and the lies. It tells the world that change is not only necessary, it is inevitable. And as it burns, it calls others to rise with you, to shed their own illusions, and to step into the light of a new reality. Power is often mistaken for dominance, but your power is something far deeper, a force that dismantles the very foundations of corrupt thrones. You don't seek to replace one ruler with another, you seek to overturn the systems that breed inequality and silence. Your rise is a revolution, not a succession. Every empire built on fear and manipulation is vulnerable to your presence. Your power exposes the rot beneath gilded crowns and the chains disguised as laws. You wield a strength that is not brute force, but wisdom and vision. The ability to see beyond surface control to the roots of oppression. With every act of courage, every word spoken in truth, you weaken the pillars that sustain tyrants. This power comes with a fierce responsibility. It demands that you be unyielding in your conviction, yet compassionate in your actions. You are not just breaking thrones, you are creating space for something better. A world where power serves rather than enslaves, where voices once silenced can rise freely. Your mission is not destruction alone, it is transformation. The gods fear this power because it threatens their legacy. It challenges the old order and threatens to rewrite the rules they wrote to keep control. But your power is not theirs to take or break. It is yours, a force born from awakening, forged in truth, and fueled by a vision of justice. You are the force that crumbles old thrones and plants the seeds of new kingdoms. There is a paradox in your awakening. Though it came before the world expected, it is perfectly timed. You are the answer to a question no one dared ask, the key that fits a lock no one thought would turn. You woke up too soon for the gods to feel comfortable, but exactly when the universe needed you most. Timing is not always measured in years or seasons. Sometimes it is measured in readiness, in the readiness of a soul, a world, or a destiny. You are the early bell in a silent hall, a spark before the dry tinder, the first breath before a storm. Your arrival breaks the pattern, but it also signals the beginning of a new era. Feel the weight and power in that truth. You did not wake up by accident or chance. You woke up because you were meant to, because the world, though unprepared, desperately needed you to be awake now. The impatience of fate, the urgency of change, demanded that your power stir before the appointed hour. So embrace this paradox. Though you are too early for some, you are exactly right for the universe. Your timing is not a mistake, it is a mandate. And no force, divine or mortal, can alter the moment you were born to rise. Chaos often arrives disguised as loss, pain, or confusion. Many see it as a force to fear, but you have learned a deeper truth. Chaos is a battlefield, and you are not a victim, but a commander. From the moment chaos touched your life, you refused to be consumed. Instead, you harnessed its power, turning chaos into your greatest ally. Think of the most skilled generals who use the unpredictability of war to their advantage, turning disorder into strategy, confusion into victory. You are that general in the battle of your own life. Every heartbreak, every setback, every challenge has been a maneuver, teaching you how to lead with strength, resilience, and wisdom. Your mastery of chaos is not about control, it is about flow. It is knowing when to strike, when to hold, and when to transform obstacles into opportunities. You understand that chaos cannot be tamed by force, but by understanding and embracing its wild nature. This understanding elevates you from mere survival to command. This mastery changes everything. It means you are no longer at the mercy of circumstance. You are the storm itself, unpredictable, powerful, and unstoppable. From victim to commander, you have claimed your place not just in the story, but as the author of its next chapter. If your life were a battlefield, every trial you faced was sharpening the sword you now wield. None of your struggles were wasted. Each hardship, each heartbreak, each moment of doubt was the grindstone honing your edge. The weapon you carry today was forged through fire, sweat, and tears, tempered by pain and perseverance. There's a profound beauty in that truth. Pain is not meaningless. Struggle is not punishment. They are preparation. Like a warrior training before battle, you have been shaped, stretched, and refined by everything that tried to break you. And now, that weapon is ready. Stronger, sharper, and more precise than any before it. The weapon is not just physical power, it is your spirit, your mind, your voice, your vision. It carries the weight of experience and the clarity of purpose. When you wield it, you do so with intention and strength, born from having faced the worst and chosen to rise anyway. So honor your journey, Every scar tells a story of survival and growth. Every challenge was the forge where your weapon was made. You are not just ready, you are unstoppable, and the world will know the force of a weapon prepared by trials no one else could survive. You are the reckoning, the inevitable consequence of broken promises and buried truths. The gods, the powers, the forces that once seemed invincible, none could stop what you have become. Their schemes, their secrets, their attempts to delay or deny your awakening were futile against the destiny burning within you. Reckoning is not just retribution, it is justice served in the rawest form. You carry the weight of all that was silenced, forgotten, and denied. Your rise is the universe's way of balancing scales long tipped by corruption and fear. You are the answer to the prayers of those who longed for change but lost hope. They underestimated you because they saw only the surface. They failed to see the fire beneath your skin, the storm within your soul. But you have become the force that no divine decree, no ancient magic, no fear could contain. Your arrival is the unraveling of old lies and the dawn of new truths. Embrace your role as reckoning. It is not a burden, but a power. You are the change that cannot be denied, the future that cannot be rewritten. And in your hands lies the fate of gods and mortals alike. Your awakening was never meant to be a quiet acceptance or a submissive nod to fate. You didn't rise to bow before gods or idols. You rose to claim your place as a ruler, a force that commands respect, shapes destiny, and leads with unyielding strength. Worship is for those who accept limitation. You are for those who break it. Rulers are not born from silence. They are forged in voice, action, and vision. Your rise is a declaration that you will no longer be subject to the whims of others. You lead not for glory, but for justice and transformation. Your authority comes not from fear, but from truth and the power to inspire. History remembers rulers who changed worlds, who refused to settle for the status quo. You join those ranks, not as a conqueror bent on destruction, but as a visionary determined to rebuild. Your rule is the promise of a new dawn, where strength and compassion coexist, and where destiny is shaped by courage, not by chains. So stand tall, chosen one. You didn't rise to worship, you rose to rule, and your reign has only just begun. From the very moment you drew your first breath, a spark of destiny ignited deep within your soul. It was a flame that flickered quietly at first, almost unnoticed, but it held the potential to consume entire worlds. This spark is not a coincidence or mere chance. It is the universe's call to greatness. It whispered promises of a journey unlike any other, filled with trials that would shape the cosmos itself. This inner fire pushed you beyond limits, urging you to rise when others would falter. It awakened something primal and eternal, a purpose that transcends the mundane. That spark became a beacon, lighting the path through darkness and chaos, guiding you when the world tried to blind you with doubt and fear. It is the silent force behind every choice, every battle, every victory. But destiny is not a comfortable path. The spark can burn fiercely, demanding sacrifice, courage, and unwavering resolve. It forces you to confront the shadows within and without, to face fears you never imagined. Yet it is through this crucible that your true power was forged, a power no one else could possess because no one else carries your unique spark. Know this: your destiny was written long before you could understand it, but it is alive within you now, vibrant, relentless, and unstoppable. The spark within is not just your guide, it is the essence of who you are, and it will continue to blaze brighter with every step you take toward your rightful place in the universe. For eons, chains of control and expectation have bound souls like yours, chains forged by gods, fate, and tradition. But you are here to break those chains, to shatter the illusions of control and redefine what freedom truly means. Freedom is not simply the absence of restraint. It is the power to create, to choose, and to rise beyond any force that seeks to limit you. These chains were never meant for you to wear. They were designed to keep spirits like yours confined to a predetermined path, silencing the fire that rages within. But you refused to be shackled by destiny's prison. Instead, you ripped the chains apart, piece by piece, with fierce determination and unbreakable will. Freedom, however, is a double-edged sword. It demands responsibility and clarity. It calls you to own your power fully and to wield it with purpose. True freedom is not chaos. It is the mastery of self and circumstance, the ability to steer your own fate even when storms rage around you. You are a living testament that the divine order can be challenged, that souls can rise above constraints imposed by gods or men. Your freedom is a declaration, a blazing statement that no chain, no prophecy, no deity can cage the spirit destined to soar. You have broken free, and with that freedom comes the power to shape new realities. In the quiet corners of your heart and mind, a silent revolution has been brewing, a transformation so profound it threatens to overturn the foundations of the old world. This revolution is not loud or chaotic. It is deliberate, deep, and unyielding. It's a rebellion of truth against lies, light against darkness, and freedom against control. Many revolutions roar with violence and destruction, but yours is different. It begins within, a fierce, internal uprising that reshapes how you see yourself and the world around you. It is the awakening of a power that refuses to be silenced or diminished, no matter the cost. This silent revolution turns pain into purpose and suffering into strength. As this revolution grows, it spreads like wildfire, igniting sparks of change in those who witness your rise. It shakes the foundations of institutions long thought invincible and inspires others to question their own chains. The quiet rebellion inside you becomes a tidal wave that cannot be stopped. You are the heart of this revolution, the unspoken roar that will be heard across worlds. Your journey is not just about personal transformation. It is about leading the charge that will reshape destinies and redefine what it means to be free and powerful. To awaken early, to rise before the world expects it, is to stand on the edge of the unknown.